In November, all hell breaks loose. So I've been asking myself, when do we reach the point of no return? When do we, as a society, or as a species even, reach that point where the whole mess with the coronavirus and the riots and that whole soup there, governmental control, tracking, authoritarian rule, when do we reach the point of no return? When do we reach that point where we, deep down inside, we understand that, okay, what we used to know as society, civilization, that's gone, and we have entered a new era, and it will be very difficult to go back now because so many things have changed. Now, I made a video about the second wave here on this channel, and I said, and this was before the riots started, I said the second wave will be not about the virus, it will be about civil unrest. Now the big question is, and we saw that well, we are seeing that happening. Now the big question, I guess, is when is it too late? Because in that video I said restrictions will be somewhat lifted. We're seeing that as well now. We can travel more, for instance. And that's your window. That's your window. That's when you need to get out of the big cities, if you can. That's when you need to prepare, when you need to get ready for what's coming. Because there is something big coming our way, something big and nasty. And I don't like it at all. I think November. I think in November we will reach the point of no return. The reason why I'm saying November is that we have, well, not we, I'm Norwegian, but in North America, in the USA, you have the presidential election coming up. That will likely trigger more social unrest, more anger. This will be, you know, that all the hatred and all the polarization, it is very much fueled by old media, as I like to call it, or corporate media. News channels like, and I'm using the word news in its broadest possible sense here, like CNN and stuff like that. So instead of having a civilized discussion, you know, you don't get that. You get people screaming. You get people protesting in the streets. And also in November we are getting close to the end of the year, and that for businesses and for shareholders, that means that it's time to get out if you suspect that the numbers, you know, the revenue and so on that are published for this year, it's time to get out before the effects of the expectations for those numbers starts to lower the value of your shares, which again could lead to even more trouble for businesses. You will have people being laid off because a lot of the things that are being done by the governments for small and big businesses is that it's loans. They are just postponing the problems. They can't keep delaying these things forever, you know. So I think we're going to see more unemployment by November. In November we will have colder weather here in Northern Europe and in North America as well. And I don't know if this is true, but it has been said by people that I not entirely trust, but anyway, that this coronavirus likes colder weather, so it could return and we could get some saying we have only seen the start of it. I don't know. I'm going to leave that discussion to you guys, but if that is true, we get that effect in October, November, and it's not, if it's true, it's not going to look pretty. Now, of course, there are other reasons as well, and there are so many things, so many factors that plays a part in this whole puzzle. But most of all, this is just a feeling, and well, it's not just a feeling, it's a feeling I have, and it's based on what I have been observing. This is a development that has been going on for a long time, and I think we should worry most about the authoritarian rule. We need to realize that this whole thing with the pandemic and all that, looking down entire communities, societies, it emboldens any politician, any bureaucrat that has a lust for power. And yeah, and we're seeing that now. We're seeing that clearly. We're seeing these politicians forgetting that they are servants of the people, and they, some of them, it's obvious that they think they are rulers and of the people. Do not give those politicians a vote. And if I lived in the USA, I would think about that in the upcoming election. Now keep in mind that when I say November, I'm not a prophet, so I don't know if it's going to be in November. I'm just saying that if I had to bet, if I had to put a lot of money on this, I would bet on November. Now, I'm recording this it's mid-July, so we have a few more months, but it could be less. So I don't think it's very wise to wait to do your preparations. I think you should do those now if you haven't started already. You should get out of the big cities if you can. And I know for many people that's not possible, but at least prepare to get out of the cities, because, you know, from what we've seen, some areas, these riots, there is a lot of hatred going on. There is a lot of, these are hate-fueled riots, and there is no discussion, there is no talking, no discussion to be had with these people. You can't argue with them, you can't reason with them, and they are basically out there to get your stuff. That's what they want, and they do not have any consideration for your needs. It's a very basic and primitive form of rioting that we're seeing. Also, you should have those crucial, essential, and also very difficult talks with your close family. And one of the most important questions that you will have to discuss is, to what degree do you comply with whatever comes from the government? because as a family you have to, you know, you need to have talked about these things up front. Will you bend the knee? It's funny how people have been conditioned to bend the knee. Makes you think. Will you bend the knee to whatever rules and regulations that are imposed on you? Or will you say, well, I can't say that word here on YouTube, but will you say no, F that? I'm not going to be part of this, because I do think it's going to be possible to live outside of the so-called new normal. But it's going to take preparation, it's going to take dedication, and you will have to be willing to live with less comfort than you're used to. Now, I'm not going to be part of the new normal. It's not going to happen. So I've made my choice already. And I'm okay with that. I'm actually very okay with that. And the argument is going to be, since we saw how the coronavirus killed people and caused us to having to lock down entire countries, we need to do this and that in order to not have to do that again. The argument is going to be, we need to have authoritarian rule so that we don't have to lock everything down. And as we all know, what's the saying? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's very true. And I'm not even sure if this is these people saying this have good intentions. I think it has a lot to do with a lust for power and control. So I am prepared to live, you know, in a different way in the future. At least I think I'm prepared. I think I am, at least I'm mentally prepared. We did lock down everything as a family. We for 2 weeks, when this lockdown started in Norway, we said, okay, we are ready. So we isolated ourselves for 2 weeks, and I can't say that was problematic. I think it went okay. I'm not saying that we're going to have the big apocalypse. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying things will be different. I think that, well, you can still be watching these YouTube videos. You can still you know, use your mobile phone and things like that. But maybe you should ditch the smartphone. But that's you know, with the tracking apps and all that. But you know, that's just me. Maybe I don't like that. But anyway, it's up to each and every one to make that decision. But do make those decisions now, so that you won't have other people making those decisions for you. Please remember that even the most benign government, even the kindest politicians, they will have to make decisions that are best, that, you know, that are good for the nation, for the group. What's best for the group might not be best for you. So please think about these things and make your preparations. Basic things: get some water filtration, stock up on food, medicines, fuel for your car, things like that. This is not going to be a video about what you need to do to prepare. Like, you know, it's just I'm saying that we're getting close now. We are getting close. Learn how to make a fire. Take a look at the map. How can you get out of the city if you are in a city? Which roads will likely be closed? Talk with your close family. Talk with your extended family as well. Be prepared to take care of your, if you're my age, to take care of your parents if they need assistance. And they might not fully understand what's happening, and not, your close family even might not understand. And if you have younger kids, you shouldn't expect them to understand, and maybe it's best to shield them from all of this mess that's happening now. You know what it feels like? In November, all hell breaks loose. That's what it feels like. That's, again, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But yeah. But don't wait and count on November to be, when it all falls apart. Don't wait. Don't wait. Do what you have to do now, and be ready. Okay? I'll talk soon. Bye.